Hello, my name is Richardson. I'm a third year student at St. Mary's University, Twickenham, currently studying business management and finance. I've just completed my first week under my placement at Social Sports Group. Found this week really fun. It was a great way to start. Some of the work that I got done was I wrote a script and produced a voiceover for a promotional video for one of their new projects called Club Tower Hamlets. That was really fun, something that I've never done before, especially the voiceover in part. At first it was very challenging, it took me a couple tries to finally get the voiceover nailed and to a standard that I thought was really good. Actually writing the script, again, also very fun. Found it a bit less challenging than actually recording the voiceover. But I was given free rein to sort of make the writing what I wanted, obviously keeping it in line with the project and making sure to use certain phrases or words. But so the free creative rein sort of let me come up with something I thought was really good. Videos have been made now. I've had a watch of it. It looks really well done, so I'm very happy with that. Some more work that I got done. I finished writing a script for another promotional video. This one was for the She Gets Social, the women's project that they have going on. So I wrote that script again, sent it over to get looked at, because obviously sponsorships bit different than just promoting a project in general, because we're seeking financial benefits and all this sort of stuff. But again, that was really fun. Marlon gave me some great feedback on it, which helped me write something that in the end we both very happy with and I was very proud of. And then finally I started writing a script for another promotional video for sponsorships as well. This one was revolved around the Disability Sports Project. So I've started that off, didn't manage to finish it, but from the start that I've made, I think similarly to the women's project, something really nice will come out of it. So next week, I believe I'm gonna be working on Canva with Marlon, creating some designs and obviously finishing up that script for the disability project. But yeah, thank you for watching and I look forward to next week. Hello, my name is Richardson. I'm a third year business management and finance student studying at St. Mary's University in Twickenham. This is my second week of placement under Pulse Social Group and my second weekly diary video. This week I got done the promotional video for the sponsorship for the She Gets Social Club Tower Hamlets project that we have going on. It was very challenging, took me a long time. So I basically done the voiceover for the script I wrote during week one, and then I also made the video as well on Canva, so create different artworks and basically just edited the video into one. So it's very challenging. I think the video was nearly 2 minutes long, and cutting every 5-10 seconds to different slides and making it relevant to what I was talking about in the voiceover, very challenging. But I did have a lot of fun doing it. I found it actually really enjoyable. I got free creative rein to do what I wanted with it basically, which was very good. So I just sort of let my creative side take over. At the start I did struggle a bit because I didn't really know how to sort of start off the video. I think that's always sort of the most challenging part. So that took me a good probably half an hour just like working on like 10 seconds of the first bit of the video. So that was definitely probably the hardest bit of my work that I did. But overall, I'm very happy with what I made. I think I've actually surprised myself with how good I actually made it. We used Canva, so I had a bit of prior practice on Canva, doing other stuff in the past. But I learned a lot about the system. Learn about things that you could do that I never knew that you could do, which made my life a lot easier. Probably saved me a lot of time as well in the end. But as well as that, I started finding companies to sort of create a pipeline so we can direct these videos to these companies with the end goal of getting them to sponsor our She Gets Social Club Tower Hamlets project. So I started that. I only had like the last hour to do that. Again, very, very challenging. I never knew how difficult it is to just find companies in different industries, in a certain location, obviously targeting the Tower Hamlets area. But yeah, that was very challenging. Got some of it done though, and then I'll complete that next week during week 3, and I believe I'm also going to start actually approaching these companies, which will be a lot of fun. Something again I've never done. So I think that's a reoccurring theme of this placement. I'm doing a lot of things I've never done, and in the past I would have told people like, oh, I'm more analytical, more logical sort of person, which I still believe I am. But with all these creative tasks that I've been given to do, like creating voiceovers, writing scripts, making videos and all this sort of stuff, and the fact that I also have sort of free reign with the creativity of it, it's really showed to myself that I actually am quite creative as well. So all in all, I'm very happy with the week. Think it was a good week, and I'm excited for next week. So I'll see you then. Thank you. Hello, my name is Richardson. I'm a third-year student studying business management and finance at St. Mary's University, Twickenham. This is the 3rd week of my video diaries with the placement at Social Group. So this week, to start with, basically we focused on search engine optimization. So learning different techniques, looking at what our competitors were doing, where are they advertising, sort of things, which is very good. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about directories. Didn't know, never thought of even using directories really to promote stuff before. So that was something new that I learned, which was very good. Also like different activity finders and stuff. We were looking at them, looking at what our competitors were doing, how well they were doing, sort of things, and all this. So that was very fun. That was the first part. And then second part, I basically joined different Facebook groups. This is in line with the SEO and building traffic towards the website, but more specifically the Club Tower Hamlets project. So what I did was basically join different Facebook groups relevant to the project, whether it's location, parent groups, sport groups, all this sort of things around the Tower Hamlets area. So I joined a lot of them, and then basically just advertised the project on there. So that was very, very good as well. Challenges I faced was like different, there were certain groups that required you to be invited, sort of thing. So I had to sort of request acceptance, so show why I was there, sort of thing. Posts, some posts needed approvals. Some Facebook groups I didn't end up posting with because either, they charged money or it just wasn't a good fit. So it was, it wasn't smooth sailing, but in the end it was very fun, very good. So yeah, that's what I did this week. Next week I'm actually doing a podcast, so I'm very excited about that. It's, something I've never ever done. Bit nervous as well, obviously, because having to lead a conversation for a lengthy amount of time, come up with good questions that are interesting. Don't want to just be asking useless sort of questions. So I'm very excited for it, however, though, so that'll be good. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hello, my name is Ryan Richardson. I'm a third-year student studying business management and finance at St. Mary's University in Twickenham. This is the 4th week of my placement at Social Sports Group. So this week I done a podcast with a lovely guest, Jasmine West. My first ever podcast I've ever done. I was pretty nervous leading up to it, trying to formulate questions and stuff to make it interesting to listen to and stuff. When it got to actually doing the podcast, tried to sort of remind myself that it's not an interview sort of thing. So even though I made all these questions, I didn't want the podcast to just simply be just me just sort of interviewing Jasmine, just asking her just questions back to back sort of thing. So I remind myself that it's just a conversation sort of thing. So yeah, the podcast went really well, really enjoyed it. Jasmine was lovely. She was super nice, super sort of talkative, answered the questions I did ask her really well, and then I put my insight into stuff as well. So yeah, overall it was just really fun. Something I would definitely do again in the future. So yeah, that was my week. Yeah, like I said, really enjoyed it. Thank you again to Pulse Social for setting that up and giving me all these sort of different tasks and opportunities that I never would have had the chance of sort of doing without them. So yeah, huge thank you to them again, and I look forward to next week. Bye. Hello, my name's Ryan Richardson. I'm a 3rd-year business management and finance student studying at St. Mary's University in Twickenham. This is the 5th week of my placement at Pulse Social. So this week I done a range of different tasks. I done a podcast with Edward Foxley, who's another St. Mary's student on placement at Pulse Social Group. So that was now my 2nd podcast. Felt a lot more comfortable doing it this round time, obviously, with the experience of the first one with Jasmine. Felt a lot more confident and comfortable with actually doing a podcast and speaking on topics sort of thing. So yeah, the podcast went really well. It was really insightful. Edward was amazing. Gave some great answers to the questions I was giving him, and it was really interesting to sort of learn about his story and journey through football and balancing with uni and stuff like that. So that was really good. Along with that, I also done some sort of creative work, so making a thumbnail and writing a blog for the Jasmine West podcast. So I completed that as well. The day as a whole was pretty challenging, because I worked on a Monday, and the Sunday prior I was up in Nottingham doing a taekwondo competition. So my body was a bit achy, a bit tired sort of thing, and I I've also come down with a cold as well. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. So yeah, the day I wasn't feeling 100%. But all in all, I got my work done. Still enjoyed it. Still found like enjoyable, even though I was under the weather and body ache and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, all in all, it was very challenging, but it was still like an amazing day. So yeah, next week, I believe we're switching the roles. So now I'll be interviewed. I'll be on the other side of the podcast, which would be interesting. I've done the interviewing side twice now, so answering questions. I think that'll help me build up a lot of skills, regarding like interviews and stuff in the future. That we'll have to do. So I'm very excited for that. And yeah, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week. Hello, my name is Richardson. I'm a third year business management and finance student studying at St. Mary's University in Twickenham. This is the 6th week of my placement here at Social Group. So this week I started off the day doing some work on the Jasmine West podcast I spoke about last week. So what that was making like the cover work and the actual podcast. So putting the audio files into a file with the artwork on it as well. So I used Canva to make these. The artwork was fairly simple, fairly enjoyable. Got that done quite quickly and smoothly. The actual making of the podcast and like the audio side of it, that was fairly challenging. In Canva, I think audio isn't I don't think Canva is the best software to use when trying to mix audio and stuff like that. Because like even just sort of making cuts in the audio, so there was like times where it was like some just empty sort of no noise, or there was times where we reached like the Zoom call limit, so we had to sort of make another Zoom call and I had to blend them in so it's a smooth transition. So yeah, that was quite tedious and challenging, but got it done in the end. And I think the podcast came out really well. And along with that, I also wrote a blog for the Jasmine West podcast, essentially just summarizing the podcast in a couple paragraphs and also providing some information on the topics that we spoke about, with the aim of sort of enticing the readers to go and listen to the podcast. So that was really fun. Got that done too. And then second sort of activity was making the Edward Foxley podcast I did. Again, it was same sort of task as the Jasmine West one. So making the cover work and then the actual podcast itself. This one went way smoother because obviously it was my second time doing it, but also it was quite a bit shorter. So when sort of fiddling with the audio side of things, there wasn't as much cuts or sort of bits I had to take out as much as the Jasmine West one. So that went really well. And then my final activity was another podcast with Ed. This time I was on the other side, so I was the one speaking and answering the questions. It was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed sort of talking about, my journey through Taekwondo, my history in sport throughout my childhood and even up to now, my opinions on sort of sport and the benefits of it, what sports I like doing apart from Taekwondo. So yeah, it was just a good chat. It was a bit challenging. As you can probably tell, I'm still a bit under the weather. So speaking for, a long time, answering each question was quite challenging on the throat. But all in all, really enjoyed it. And one thing I've realised, throughout all the podcasts I've done, so I've done 3 now in total, so the Jasmine West one and the 2 with Ed. throughout all of them, but especially the ones with Ed, as he's student as well, sporty sort of young lad, so fairly similar to me. But they're not really what you'd expect from a sort of business or corporate podcast. They're more just like of a chat. Sorry if you heard my dog. He's yeah. But yeah, they're more of just like a chat. So yeah, that was my week. Really enjoyed it. I'm excited for next week, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hiya, my name's Ryan Richardson. I'm a business management and finance student studying at St. Mary's University in Twickenham. This is the 7th week of my placement here at Pulse Social. So this week I started off the day in a meeting with Marlon and Joe Hawkins, who's a member of Access Sport, who's a sponsor for our Tower Hamlets club project. So basically in that meeting, I was telling Joe, the work I've been doing on the Tower Hamlets club, talking about the video and the SEO research and stuff, telling him about that. And then we were talking about the more development side of it, so reaching more people, just letting people know about the club and maximizing the engagement we'd get out of it. So I was tasked with finding and contacting various schools within the Tower Hamlets area and informing them on our project, and then asking whether they would be interested in like taster sessions and stuff like that. So I firstly started with finding the schools. Found about, I think it was 15 or 14 maybe, and then I got a bit of help with Joe on that as well. And then the calling side of it, it was cool. It was enjoyable. Something I've never done. Sort of calling, and we weren't selling the projects, but it was more so just sort of letting them know about it and seeing if they were interested in it, because obviously we're targeting young people, young disabled sort of young people, and the schools, it's a good way to sort of engage with those people. So yeah, I just started calling up a range of different schools. Some schools picked up and were interested. Some schools didn't pick up, so I left a voicemail and stuff like that. And then some schools, like, just kept on ringing. So I think it'd be better sort of call them on another day, see if they're interested. But all in all, it was good. There was quite a lot of engagement and interest in it. So all in all, I'm happy with the day, and yeah, I'm looking forward to my next day. It'll be in 2 weeks now. So yeah, I'll enjoy the time off and yeah, come back ready for that day. Thank you. Hello, my name's Ryan Richardson. I'm a third year student studying at St. Mary's University in Twickenham. Currently on placement at Social Sports Group. This is my video diary for week 8 and week 9. So starting with week 8, I started off my day with a meeting with Marlon and Rebecca, who's from an organisation called Poplar Harker. My role in the meeting was basically to walk Rebecca through the sort of podcast process, what it would entail, what sort of questions we're going to be asking, what we want to get out of the podcast sort of thing. So that was my role in that meeting. And then after the meeting, followed up Rebecca with an email, basically outlining the questions I was going to ask her during the podcast, so she can prepare some answers and give some really good sort of info to the listeners. As well as that, I also asked questions sort of to build my information and knowledge on the actual project itself, so the Path to Paris project, and the partnership that they have with us. So learning about the sessions that we'd be doing, the timings, the dates, the locations, all this sort of stuff, so that we can then promote that during the podcast. So yeah, that was my first sort of task. And then after that, for the rest of the day, my job was basically to find and contact businesses around the Tower Hamlets sort of area. So my focus was on the finance sort of sector. So I'd be contacting various sort of finance institutions, banks, financial advisors, those sort of things, with the aim of getting sponsors for our sessions and whatnot. So how I went about finding these businesses, obviously use Google to see any physical sort of businesses around the area. Found a couple, and then along with that I used LinkedIn as well. One to find companies, again, but also to find the sort of CSR rep within those companies. So I have a sort of direct contact with them instead of just calling up the sort of company and then asking, for their CSR person, which I did have to do for some, because some of them were quite challenging to sort of find their CSR rep. But that was my job for the rest of the day. It was good. It was challenging. I think all in all, I found about maybe 12, 15 sort of companies. Some of them managed to find CSR reps and then sort of call the company, ask if I can speak with the CSR rep. With the ones I couldn't find, simply called the company and see who would be the sort of best person to talk to, get their names and whatnot. So yeah, it was good. Contacted all the companies. Some of them, weren't interested, which is fine. Some of them were a bit interested. Some of them were quite interested. So yeah, that was good. So that was my week 8 day. All in all, very, very good day. The first bit was quite nice, meeting Rebecca, learning more about the project and stuff. That was quite fun. The second bit was definitely more challenging. Definitely, repetitive, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah, and then moving on to week 9. So week 9, I started off actually doing a podcast with Rebecca and Mo. Mo joined as well. So that was the podcast for the Popular Haka. So yeah, that one really well. Very, very sort of seamless. One take, weren't any issues at all with the podcast. So that was very enjoyable. Definitely, 1, learned a lot about the project myself, and then 2, I think they put the main points across really well. So it was a really good way to sort of market the project as a whole. And then after that, I made the actual podcast, so the graphic work, putting the audio files and stuff all together and coming out with a finished product. So I'd done that. Wasn't too bad. I've gotten used to sort of doing it now, so I was quite I knew what I was doing at this point, so it was good. Wasn't stressful. Very, very sort of nice task. And then along with that, I wrote a sort of article summarizing the podcast, which will be put on a website. So one is the main purpose of it was to entice people to go watch the actual podcast, and then 2, again, to just sort of get people signed up, put direct web links in the article so they can just click that, go sign up to the project and whatnot. And then finally, I read another article for another podcast I did a couple weeks ago with Ed. So again, I had to go through the podcast again, sort of refresh the topics and stuff that we talked about. But yeah, came out with another pretty good article. Sent them over to Marlon. Seemed happy with it and stuff. So yeah, that was my week 8 and week 9 here at placement at Pole Social. And yeah, it was all in all very good. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye. Systematic approaches to sort of stuff. So there was tasks like, I remember my first task was creating I think it was a script and a voiceover for the Tower Hamlets project, I think. And I had sort of free reign. I obviously had to put in certain stuff, like the times and the location, that sort of thing. But other than that, I could sort of do what I wanted. So having no sort of, list of sort of things I need to hit, it really allowed my creative side to sort of take over, and it worked out better than even I would have, expected it to do. But yeah, I'll probably say that. And then also, definitely building confidence when speaking and stuff like that. I'm sure if you watched the first couple of weekly videos, there was a lot of ums and ahs. There probably still is, but throughout like the podcast and like calling companies for like sponsorships and all this sort of stuff, and having conversations with corporate individuals, like people like Jasmine and Ed, and the people at Popular Harker as well. It was just really beneficial in building my confidence, just as a sort of person speaking to another person. So yeah, I'd probably say those two are probably my sort of biggest learning experiences that I had during the placement. And then finally, what do I plan on doing after my studies? So I've secured, luckily, I've secured a job after uni, so I'll be starting that very soon. So I'm excited for that. Starting my sort of career journey, career path. It's very exciting, also scary, but definitely way more exciting. And I'm looking very forward to it. In terms of my sport, I definitely want to continue with my taekwondo. I know it'll be a challenge, sort of balancing it with full-time work and staying disciplined and training 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes twice a day. It will be definitely a challenge, but it's something that I want to do in the end of it. So I'm sure I'll enjoy the sort of process. Some days I probably won't, or some days I definitely won't, but overall I think it'll just greatly benefit me, because taekwondo's been a huge sort of factor in where I am today, and it's done so much for me so far. So stopping it now, I don't think that's a smart decision. But yeah, so after uni, going straight into work, and yeah, continue on my taekwondo sort of path. Definitely want to still compete. Definitely want to compete at world ranking tournaments, stuff like that. So yeah, that's my plans. Yeah, that was my final weekly video diary for my placement here at Pole Social. Again, thank you to Marlon and everyone at Pole Social. And hello, my name is Richardson. I'm a third year business management and finance student studying at St. Mary's University in Twickenham. This is my 10th and final weekly video for my placement here at Pole Social. So firstly, I just want to say a huge thank you to Marlon and Pole Social as an organisation. You made this experience really, really enjoyable, and I benefited a lot from it. It was good, learned stuff about myself that I didn't know before the placement, learned some key valuable things within marketing, like SEO, creative tasks like the podcast and the promotional videos and the blogs and stuff. So yeah, overall it was just a really, really enjoyable experience. And like I said, thank you to Marlon and Pole Social as a whole for allowing me to do my placement here. So I've got a couple of questions to answer. So the first one is, what was my favorite task? I'll probably say the podcast, to be honest. One, because it was just something that I'd sort of never done, never even thought of doing really. I'm quite a reserved person as well, so having like some 30 minutes to an hour sort of conversation with someone else, and I'm actually the one sort of leading the conversation and asking the questions and whatnot. It was quite daunting. I remember the first one that I did with Jasmine. I was very nervous before, but then I got in there, and it was just free flowing. Like, I had my notes on my side, but most of the time we were just literally having a conversation about various different topics and learning about her story and journey within sport and property and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd probably say the podcast overall. I think every single one I enjoyed doing. I done 4 in total, 3 where I was sort of the one asking questions and leading, and then 1 where I was on the flip side, which was I'll probably say that was one of the most beneficial ones. The one where I was answering the questions and whatnot, because half stuff I talked in there I never really spoke about to anyone, maybe apart from like my brother, mum and dad sort of thing. So it was good to just sort of give my 2 cents on a couple things and speak about my journey in taekwondo and university and stuff. So yeah, probably podcasts. My biggest learning experience from the placement, I'll probably say at the start, I had to really sort of access my creative side. Me as a person, I'm very analytical, sort of data figures sort of person, and I like sort of systematic approaches to sort of stuff. So there was tasks like I remember my first task was